Hello everybody, my name is Fancy. In this video, I'll be showing you a red green Luffy and Ace deck, starter deck 30. Wow, how far we've come. So this leader, I already made one video on it, but I'm assuming you haven't watched it because it didn't do crazy well. I mean, 1k views, so yeah, it wasn't too bad actually. So anyway, for life, 6,000 power leader, power creep is going crazy. Back in my day, these for 6k leaders had 3 life or 6. If you have a 7,000 power or more character on the board, base power, so you can like power your own dudes up with Don and stuff. But if its base power is 7 or more, your leader becomes a 4k leader, which is not good. You don't want that. And opponent's turn, all of your Ace and Luffy gain 3,000 power. So this is kind of similar to the Smoker in a way, where your board would be like slightly buffed, and then if you had a 7k or more dude, you set a couple Don elective. So the similarity to there. Except Smoker used to struggle quite a lot with resources, was its main weakness, so it had to pivot to be more of an aggro deck than anything else, because you just had no resources, right? You were a 4-life leader without any built-in defense. But this leader doesn't struggle with that as much because you are a 6k leader, which is just a massive difference. It doesn't, I know if you maybe haven't played it longer when these 6k leaders were really prevalent, but 6k leader really does make a difference. So for the Luffys and Aces, we have 16 of them. So the first, I think the best one in my opinion, is 5-cost Luffy from starter deck 21. It's a 5-cost 6k, rush, and then when attacking you give 1 Don. So it's a 5-cost 7k in a way, that also is a 9k on the opponent's turn, making it nearly immune to removal, right? Not removal, sorry, combat. Because realistically, until 10 Don, then nobody's ever punching your board when they're 9ks and they could just punch your 6k face. It doesn't make sense. So effectively immune to combat makes this a really strong body. Like a 7k every turn is a lot of value and a lot of pressure. And especially when you realize is a when attacking it gives it on. So if you use Brook, you get a second when attacking effect, which is just an extra nice bonus. With this 4-cost Ace, again, really strong card. So this is so you pay 1 extra to give it rush. So it's a 5-cost 6k, similar stat line to the Luffy. And then every turn, when it attacks, you give my opponent minus 1k. And this minus 1k is great for trading into the board in matchups where that's a priority. And you can combo it with Megalo, which is really strong, because then Megalo starts popping a 9. And I think 8k isn't a great number in this game right now, because it's so easy for Enel players to go like Knife El Thor. So generally, you don't see many 8ks on the field, unless they have like really strong anti-removal effects, like the 7-cost Robin. But when you start killing 9ks, it just becomes so much better. Like, even in the mirror, you can go Spink Ace, play Megalo, pop their thing. What else is there? I guess in Nanami you can pop the Robin, but you don't really want to. And there's also, like, into Ace, you pop Jozu's. Ace is probably a bad matchup, though. Yeah, there's just a big difference between popping an 8 and a 9, so that's nice. And then we also have, so yeah, the one attacking free for board, can combo with Megalo. Beautiful. Then we have this Luffy. So this Luffy, I don't think you need 4 of it, but I kind of wanted to play 4 of it, which is the consistency. Because when this Luffy goes off, it's really good. Because there'll be matchups where you're not ever trading into board, and then this Ace doesn't do anything. And there'll be matchups where your opponent isn't playing blockers, so this Luffy's effect doesn't do anything. So these two are like very good in different matchups typically, where this 5-cost always has the value of just being 7k. Okay, so back to this card. When attacking, you rest a blocker. And then the same pay 1, give it rush. So into the right matchups, it's incredibly broken. Into some matchups, it's just a 5-6 rush. Again, it's a 9k body. And then we also have this Luffy. So if your leader is multicolored and your opponent has 7 or less Don on the field, your opponent rests 1 of their Don on the next turn. So effectively, you take 1 Don away from the next turn. So into something like Blackbeard, the new black yellow, you rest it. You play this on your 5 Don turn, then your opponent doesn't have 6 Don. Opponent won't be on 6 Don, so they can't play their Shiryu. Yeah, so you turn this off on Blackbeard's 6 Don turn, and they actually just lose the game, like immediately. If they don't play this on curve, they just fucking don't do anything. This card is great for that again, but like everything, you turn off Ace's 8 Don play, so they can't go 10 cost. You turn off Mihawk's 7-cost Don play. There are so many things you can do with this Luffy, to be honest. It's just amazing. And it has counter, but it is only 5k, so it's a little bit weaker. For the searches, we have this Inazuma Searcher. It is a top 5, grab any 6k dude, so you grab this, Ein, Brook, Bonnie. You grab like basically your entire engine with this. That's a great searcher, and with counter, it's just a really really good searcher for this deck. And also this 2-cost boa, so I don't see people playing this, but this card is actually really 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 good for how this deck plays. It makes your going first curve so much stronger because you play this on like either 3 or 7. And then, like, just randomly being able to put, so in case you don't know what the searcher does, top 5, you grab any Luffy, which we have some, or red event. So this card will whiff sometimes, because we're not running crazy amounts of red events or Luffys, they're only on, like, 4, 8, 12, 16, or on 18. I think I might add some of the event searches in, to see how they function, because it reads the same as the Inazuma. Where is it? This searcher. It has the same effect as Inazuma, but it's a red event, meaning you can grab it off Boa. So I might try some of that out, but being searcher, 3k body, so to replace it, and then you can activate main, kill it to give 2 rested on, means when you go for lethal, if you hadn't played this early, compared to when you didn't play this early, you just get 2 extra Dom. You just get an extra 2,000 power to play with. And then when you have things like Brook, so you can, the 2 Don you put on the character sheet you can use twice, it's just the value really stacks with this card. And it's a 3k, so even if you have no rested Don, you can put 2 Don on it, swing 5, to pop it, and it was basically a 2-cost 5k. So just that replaced its own act. Such an amazing card, honestly. I'm going to try to buy my alt arts for it soon, just super nice. So Baccarat's only here because that gets quite bricky, right? We have 4, 8, 12, 15, 19 bricks. And then if you have any Don, it goes up to 20 something. So that can get bricky, so this Baccarat is a 3/4/1 blocker, then activate main, you can trash cards, make it 2k. So the main reason this is here is because I felt the 3 Don turn, if you didn't see Bowl, was like really weak. And you don't really want that in a deck that wants to go first. You want a good 3 Don turn. So having like 7 good 3 Don turns was quite nice. Yeah, there's not much to say about this card. It's just a nice card. I definitely could see it leaving the list for extra bonies, potentially, and maybe a couple searcher events. Oh, I have to see though. We're still early days of testing. I'll be honest. So Iron is literally just here to be searchable off Inazuma as a 2k, because if we go to all the other 2ks are like the 5 or 6k vanillas. There's no other 6,000 power 2k to play. That isn't a vanilla, so you might as well choose the hot. Oh, let's the digital footprint. Yeah, all these dudes like bulky men. Iron is just okay. Next card. Oh, there's another Iron. So this card is actually really nice. 7 cost 6k, so it's the most expensive card in the deck. But then you can set any character to 0. So 10 cost Lockerbeards, or Blackbeards, or 10 cost Blackbeards or Newgates. Or you can set them to 0, and then have Luffy rest and kill them. If you already have this on the board. So to match up that, they play their 10 cost, you can rest it, put it to 0, because this is a one attacking, it happens every turn. Then you meet it to kill it to 0, and put it to 0, and just punch it. So it's really helpful for the ace matchup and things like that nature. But also sometimes it will basically just do nothing and be a brick, which is why we play Baccarat and Overcrossed. 2 Laboon. Laboon's an anti-removal. When one of your characters will be removed, you may instead rest 2 your cards. It's nice it comes up. I haven't felt there's a crazy amount of removal in the meta to need this card yet. But it definitely could be one you put back up to 4. Megalo, probably the best 2k in the deck by quite a bit. Just rest it, 4 cost, rest itself, pop an 8. So you pop Shiryu, you pop all of Sengoku's Admirals, which I think is really funny. Fish just pops the Admiral. Gregory and Luffy, you kill their board. There's so much this card does while being a 2k. And he's a 4k. Don't underestimate the 4k body. Like, he does things. The 4k body is not nothing. So yeah, definitely try to bail. I'm gonna buy my alt art soon. I already have 2. I thought I had 1, and then I looked at one of my decks, and there was another one. I was like, that's nice bonus. And then this 5 cost Bonnie. So yeah, this 5 cost Bonnie is also really nice. If you have 8 or more rested cards, you draw 2 trash ones and set 1 yours active. The draw 2 trash one's really nice in a bricky deck like this. Being a 5/6 blocker helps for defense. Really great card. And it's basically a 4 cost after you set the Don up. So you can do things where if you have this Inazuma, you just swing with it to turn it sideways for the rested character effect, then you swing with your leader and that other character you have, and then you get the draw 2 trash one. So you do have to jump through a couple hoops to get the effect, but it's a really nice effect when you get it. I could 100% see myself going into 3 of these. Brook, great card for this deck. 6 or 6k, 1k counter, on play, you rest when you press cards. And then activate main, you trash a dude. You trash him, sorry, to set one of your dudes active. So you can use this to double dip on a when attacking effect. So maybe if you're really desperately trading into board, you can double dip on the ace effect. The Luffy effect is probably the best one to do when going for lethal. Or this one even, if your opponent has like a real big wall of blockers, because you get to rest 1 card with this, so typically it'll be a blocker, but you can also rest a Don. So you can go like, rest a Don, then swing with this, rest a blocker, and all sorts. This is a really great card for going for lethal, especially paired with Boa. You play this for 6, you pop Boa, you put 2 Don, and then it's basically a 4 cost that gives you an extra attack. Or you could even park this card, like play it on like a 8 or 7 or 8 Don turn, use it to swing into a smaller character that isn't rested, like a chump, to kill it really easily. And then late game, you just have an extra massive attack. So strong. And then the 0 cost, like, really, is performed way better than I expected. Having the 0 cost just makes it, like, 0 cost treasure brick go up to 9k, It's just so underrated, and you get it off Boa as well. So I could 100% see myself go to 3 of these if we cut down on Baccarat. Really nice card, especially because it is just searchable off the Boa. Yeah, it's a great card. And then this Ace and Luffy event. So if you have just base give something +3 for 1k counter, but then if you have a Luffy and an Ace, you draw one card. So it's like a mini giant / Momoragan, depending on how you want to look at it. Probably more comparable to Momoragan because it's only draw one and you have to pay for it. It's the only counter event I'm playing. And that's kind of the deck list. I want to go over some cards that I see people playing that I don't like. So we'll start off with Carrot. Carrot is fine, but I don't think Stun Slop is the way to play this deck, if I'm honest. If you want to play Stun Slop, I don't think this is the best option to do so. I think Red Green Luffy is way stronger. I think GP Luffy is way better at doing that. I think Mihawk is way better at doing that. I think if you're playing Stun Slop, you're actually just not playing you're not playing to the strengths of this leader. This leader is clearly meant to be an aggressive powerhouse, where you usually play an unkillable board and punch your opponent's face until they die. That's clearly how, this deck isn't. You're a 4-life leader. You're not really, and you can't play any big dudes, so you're clearly not geared towards being a late game deck. I think if you look at this leader and think, let's go Stun Slop, I don't know what to say to you, dude. Same reason I love Luna, right? I love these stun cards. Luna is like my favorite card in the game, but I don't think this is the deck for Luna. If you wanted to play stun deck truly, I would just play Red Green Luffy, right? This deck is just so much better at doing the stun thing with the defensive wall than Ace Luffy actually is. So I think that's not the correct way to play this deck. So Luna, I know you're strong. I don't mind a couple of I know you're strong, just as like a 2 of, 3 of, to give you the option, but I don't think you should lean too heavily into the stun option. Maybe I will end up wrong with that. I'm prepared to eat my own words if it is wrong, but it's not the impression I get with this deck at all. What else? So that's I know strong Luna. 5-cost Ace. There's this 5-cost Ace I'm not running. It's a 5-6k 1k counter, but it gets rush, and then that's kind of it. You have the once per turn. If it would be removed, you give it -2 instead. So if it is a removal meta, it's fine. I think the best argument to actually playing this card is the extra target to find off this Luffy Ace. But every time I felt I was playing it to the board, it felt like by far the weakest card in my deck to actually be playing, other than maybe this one when you don't see it on curve. Like always felt like I'd rather be playing another card to this board, and it was only this card, just without the extra words, that makes this the one attacking that made it good. It does have a 1k, which is kind of nice, but nah. And then also there's Law, 6-cost Law. I don't think this card is synergized as well. I guess if you're playing the Carrot Perona, Perona's the other one. Perona I think actually might be okay. I think this is like my favorite of the stun cards, because if you play Carrot, your opponent's just always going to punch the Carrot, right? Because the Carrot doesn't get the leader buff. So they're just going to always punch the Carrot if they want to go for your board, and it just doesn't really do much. But with this Perona, because that's the on KO, you rest one of your dudes, any card, so you can rest this in a Zuma or whatever, and then you play a 5-cost green card from your hand. So you can play like the Bonnie or the Luffy. They're much less like they're far more disincentivized to actually punch this compared to the Carrot, so they will just kill it. Because 6k is also like not a good number in this meta. Like you get hit by Lightning Dragon really easily. It's just not a good number to be right now, I don't think. So I think I much prefer this over like Carrot. And also Carrot, they just Divine Departure it and not Lightning Dragon it, and they don't get the one second. It's so bad. Perona, I think it's maybe got some legs to it if the 5 costs are really relevant. It's really good in the mirror. I just lost the game in the mirror where he played like 2 of these and I couldn't do much. Actually, I kind of did like lose by 1k counters still, but that's because he messed up his lethal. Really, it shouldn't have been that close. Anyway, what else was there? Law. Like if you're playing the Perona and the Bonnie, I can kind of see it, but in this kind of build, it just doesn't make sense, right? Because the character comes in as rested. So all these rush characters don't get rush, and it's kind of like, what the hell are you doing then? And you also need to search it on the board already, so you also kind of have to play the Ivankov, which is a nice card actually. Being able to, you show your opponent 2 6k dudes, and then you draw 3 trash 2. I think this card actually is pretty good. If you run a more toolbox approach with all the carrots and Peronas and stuff, I just don't like playing that. That's not how I felt like I've wanted to play this deck. It doesn't, as I said, it doesn't really seem like a stun deck to me. It seems like a tempo board control kind of thing, where you punch your face and then you have Mega Low and 9 to clear dudes, and you just gain your advantage that way, and you have a couple ways to wall up at the end with your counter event, your Bonnie, and your Baccarat. Were there any other cards? Because I was watching this video. What other cards were there? I think that was kind of everything. Oh, 2-cost Thuggy. This card again is probably fine if you do want to chump block. I guess you could sub it in for Laboon and find another 2k. This deck really doesn't have any good 2Ks yet, which I found very funny, because starter decks normally have really great 2Ks here, like Usahachi, Thatch, things like that. This card is not good. You're having to take your life for a 2. I had it in the deck for a while, it just never came up, because popping a 10k doesn't really mean anything with Megalo. Yeah, this deck doesn't really have any great 2Ks yet. Like, Gaudino is okay, but it's not really great. So this is the best one we actually would have, but it's a promo, so we don't have it yet. Which is just, thank you, Bandai. I love your promo system. It doesn't make me want to hang myself. So stupid, bro. I hate promos so much. Anyway, that's the deck list. How long was this? Cool. Adobe's OBS is bugging and it won't tell me. Thank you for that. I guess. Oh, you can. I don't want gameplay today. I don't want to put gameplay in because I got like exams in. Holy shit! We got a week till my first exam, and then we have like a month of exams. I will not be playing in any of these. This is a whole month of no fancy much tracks for you. That's Douglas. See ya. Goodbye. Thank you for watching. Can I even